Breaking news today, the Miami report from the NCAA is in. No bowl ban. I'm Jeff Fischel with former Hurricane great Clinton Portis. All right, Clinton, give me your take on the sanctions from the NCAA.
I think when you look at what happened, self-imposed penalties of the University of Miami, not going to a bowl game, declining the ACC championship game last year, finally gives the seniors here an opportunity to go to a bowl game, which is great. I think when you look down the line, losing the 3 scholarships per year, it's kind of over with. So you can get back to rebuilding the program, stop losing top South Florida recruits as we were losing when you look at guys like Alex Collins, who other teams could use in recruiting to say, well, UM is still waiting on sanctions. So it's over. We can get back to being dominant, and I think the University of Miami is looking forward.
You hit on a couple of the big bullet points from the sanctions. Let's take a look at those. No postseason ban. That's right. After missing the last 2 bowl seasons, this year the Canes can play for an ACC title, possibly a national title. 9 football scholarships lost over the next 3 years, 3 per year. The basketball program also hit with 1 scholarship lost each of the year. And the former basketball coach, Frank Haith, who's now at Missouri, will serve a 5-game suspension. All right, let's focus on this football team. This year, what impact does this have on this team?
Well, like I said, I think it gives the seniors an opportunity to go out and participate in a bowl game, which they had yet to participate in. So when you look at the Stephen Morris and the guys who've been here, who's been through the struggle that really had nothing to do with the sanctions, it's finally like removing the dark skies from over your head and giving you the opportunity to go out and say, well, here's my opportunity right now.
You hit on this. I've talked to Al Golden before about the investigation, and he said other schools were using this against them in recruiting, negative recruiting. You could see the impact on this team.
Well, I mean, it's obvious other schools were using it against them. When you come into South Florida, that's University of Miami's backyard, and you get guys that choose Arkansas, you get guys that choose Clemson, even getting guys to go to the Big Ten, Pac-10, and so on these days. University of Miami was always dominant in South Florida, and that's what we have to get back to, and I think we will with these sanctions being removed.
I've seen some reaction that's basically been, it's a slap on the wrist. What do you think of that?
I think a slap on the wrist is Texas A&M suspending Johnny Manziel for half of a game. When you look at the University of Miami and what this program has been through with the self-imposed sanctions and now the sanctions from the NCAA, it's no longer a slap on the wrist. I think for years you lose in recruiting, you lose the top players. You know, unfortunately you get a Duke Johnson, a Crawford, a Stephen Morris who were gems. You know, you look at Hearns and Coley, to get those guys to come here under this scrutiny of the program. Imagine what it's going to be like when you're at full fleet.
I talked to Al Golden this spring. He said this program, the players, the coaches have already paid a heavy price. As you mentioned, they could have been in the ACC title game last year. Now, the Canes, now that they are bowl eligible, we know it. Next week, a huge game against Florida State. You will be in Tallahassee, 2 top 10 BCS teams, so we're looking forward to that. But what do you think about the sanctions announced today by the NCAA? Too much, too little, Goldilocks, just right? Tweet us at the ACCDN. Clinton and I will have more on this tomorrow on ACC Live at 1 o'clock here on the ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.